Hey, welcome back to the Wandering Wind, everyone. So, I want to talk about what's been going on the last 2 months, the last 60 some days, because we have some stuff that's been going on that truly shows that we are in a perilous time in our lives, and the American church is right in the crosshairs. Let me be clear. I'm talking about the true Big C church and the people that are truly in the faith as an as a separate group from the American church. The American church is an ideology and is, in some ways, an idolatry. All right. We have, we in America, a lot of us in America have allowed ourselves to be goose stepped into political and ideological idolatry, gussied up as Christian faith. Yeah, I'm going there. The Bible does not say, love your neighbor except for when I need to get back at them. Oh, welcome the stranger, unless they're people that are of a persuasion that I'm not fond of. Oh, care for the widow and the orphan by legislating that's what's taken care of by the government. No, no, no. We've allowed political ideologues and political ideology to poison the well of true faith and true spiritual practice to the point where we are worshiping a guy who says, I don't need to be forgiven because I've never done anything wrong. What does that sound like? Oh, I know what that sounds like. That sounds like a sinner. That sounds exactly like a sinner. You know why? Because for all intents and purposes, he is a sinner. All right? We all are. But Trump is one of those people that will not admit that he's ever sinned and that he's ever done anything that's worth or needs forgiveness. Because, as you can remember in that one interview, he says, I don't think I need forgiveness because I've never done anything that I need to be forgiven for. So if he's never asked Jesus for forgiveness, then he's not truly a Christian. He's using, okay, he is a wolf wearing a sheepskin of a sheep that he has slain in order to cloak himself in what looks like righteousness, in what looks like godliness, in what looks like true Christian faith, but isn't. Because if you dive deeper and if you look deeper, you see the flaws in all of it. So, what has got me riled up today? I'll tell you. Trump is targeting the supposed anti-American ideology, which, by the way, what does that mean? Oh, anything that criticizes what we in the political leadership think is okay and right and everything else. So, President Donald Trump has signed an executive order targeting the Smithsonian Institution. The order directs the vice president to eliminate improper, divisive, or anti-American ideology from the Institute's museums, centers, and the National Zoo in Washington. Which, by the way, what kind of ideology and political speech can you find at a zoo anyway? Come on, people. But anyway, it also directs the Interior Secretary to restore federal properties, including parks, memorials, and statues. Here we go. Which have been improperly removed or changed in the last 5 years to perpetuate a false revision of history. So what are they doing? The exact same thing that people from Himmler's days did. They're producing a revisionist view of history that promotes their political and ideological values over truth. He will seek to change the meaning of truth and falsehood and times and seasons and appointed days. That's what the Bible warns us about, right? Yeah, yeah. Okay. Again, this move is part of Trump's effort to shape American culture in addition to politics. The order is titled, get this, Restoring Truth and Sanity to American History. That's a damn joke. It says that Vance, who became a member of the Smithsonian Board of Regents, will lead the purge. Trump's order says that Congress should not fund Smithsonian exhibits and programs that divide Americans by race. There you have it, people. There's the reason why. There's the problem. They want to eliminate all mention of race because it makes them look bad and makes their feelings hurt. That's the thing. That's the thing. It alleges that American Women's History Museum, which is in development, plans to recognize men as women. No, it doesn't. Okay. All right. When you hear American Women's History Museum, what do you think? You think Rosa Parks? You think Susan B. Anthony? You think prominent figures in history that have been women? Harriet Tubman. I don't know. A lot of them. A lot of them. A lot of women in American history that have been prominent and have been keystones in different. Rosa Parks. Did I say Rosa Parks already? I might have. You get this, right? You understand this, right? They're whitewashing and male washing history in order to make men and whites superior to everyone else in the nation. This is how they do this. They take history and put it through their lens, and then they teach it not only to the people at large, but also to our children. Why did they get rid of the Department of Education? So that way it's easier to indoctrinate our children into whatever ideology they feel fits their narrative. Here we go. Let me go ahead and zoom in on this one. This is good. This is great. It also singles out the National Museum of African American History and Culture, saying that the museum has proclaimed that hard work, individualism, and the nuclear family are aspects of white culture. So basically, they're going to eliminate everything. Oh, also restoration improvements to Independence Hall in Philadelphia. Yeah. 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence, which took place within the building. Yeah, sure. All right. Trump has set out to radically reshape American culture, which he says has been contaminated by woke left-wing ideology. He signed several orders that are intended to eliminate diversity, equity, and inclusion programs from the federal government. Shortly after taking office, Trump fired the board of the John F. Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts in Washington, D.C., and installed himself as chairman. So basically, okay, so, all right. He's targeting a prominently African American history center and a women's history museum because they teach things that don't put men and him specifically at the center stage. All right? Here we go. I'm going to do a lightning round. Of what this means for us. Okay, so he is currently dismantling or trying to dismantle the Department of Education, which centralizes standards for what we should teach and eliminates oversights that allow us to basically teach either biased or wrong facts and history, which will allow people, especially um, people that he sets up or that his administration sets up to teach their version of history, revisionist history, because because supposedly there has been a false revision of history that has been perpetuated by the libs and the Democrats. But in reality, they're just acknowledging different parts of history that are inconvenient to white bigoted idiots. That's basically what this is. You know what this is? You know what this is? And people are seeing the writing on the wall. You know who's been seeing it the most? Historians. Actual historians who actually studied the years before and after the Second World War are seeing the warning signs, hearing the alarm bells in their ears, and getting out of Dodge and leaving the United States. People who are legal and permanent citizens or residents who are historians who've studied Hitler and his rise to power and the events that happened around him are seeing the writing on the wall and getting out of Dodge before we become the Fourth Reich. So, if that's the case, or the Fifth, I don't know exactly how many Reichs there were. But anyway, if this is the case, and we're seeing historians seeing the writing on the wall and leaving, maybe we should take the hint. I'm going to say something, I'm going to say a few things that might sound really harsh, but I'm saying it in love. I'm saying it in love because you need to hear this, beloved. The church in the 21st century, in modern day America, has become weak. The church of today in America is weak because we have allowed ideologies and pathologies and spiritual doctrines to be twisted and turned into a me versus them kind of perspective, an us versus them perspective. 50, 60 years ago, you would have never heard people say, oh, well, this politician will save America and may save the world. People would have dressed you down for that. People back in the 50s and 60s would have absolutely hated on you for saying something like that because only Jesus saves. And yet now we have supposed Christians saying that Donald Trump is the savior of America when there is no savior but Christ. We have people that are using the guise of Christianity in order to peddle snake oil and bullcrap on the political and on the financial stage. We have a man who clearly worships and idolizes himself being championed by conservatives and Christians around the U.S. How backwards is that? The Bible warns about the mark of the beast. It's not going to necessarily be a chip in a microchip or whatever. It's not going to be a microchip. It's not going to. There might be a microchip that comes with it because there has to be the buying and selling part. But the part that damns you is not the chip in your hand. It's the attitude of your heart and the allegiance that you hold in your mind. There are plenty of people already that have been marked and condemned by the beast that have not yet taken a microchip because they're already serving themselves and his kingdom above everything else, chief of which I believe is our current president. Could he be saved? Maybe. The end time isn't here yet. The 7 years haven't begun yet. The 3.5 years definitely aren't here yet. So who knows? He could find himself salvation. But for a guy that completely believes it when he claims that I've never done anything that needs forgiving, I doubt that he'll actually take that course of action. I personally think we're in the last in the last days of America, if not the last days of the world. And I warn you, the days will get darker. Oh, you think the stock market crashing is bad enough? Just wait until you can't even buy a loaf of bread, even with all your hundreds or thousands of dollars, because there's nothing left. Famine and pestilence are coming. War and death are coming. Judgment is coming. Signs and wonders are coming. They may not be coming quickly, at least not on our timetable, but they're coming all the same. Are you going to be ready? Are you going to be on the right side? Are you going to be serving God? Or are you going to be serving yourself? Again, the Church of America has become weak. But that does not mean that we cannot become strong again in Him. Turn back to God. Turn back to the true way. Turn back to the ways of loving your neighbor and loving God. What are the two greatest commandments that He gave us? Love your God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength. Number 2, love your neighbor as yourself. Follow these two, and you will not violate any law that is written. So I implore you, I beg you, turn away from this madness. Turn away from this foolishness. Turn away from the ugliness that this current administration is causing. Love your neighbor again. Care for the people that are in need. Don't listen to the political ideologues that want to weaponize your faith against people that they consider undesirable. Don't let it happen. Not on your watch. Not on God's watch. I'm going to send this to some people in my friends group that are probably going to look at me and completely disregard what I say. But you know what? I pray that there are some that will see this and will actually hear the words. I'm not talking about this because I feel like I'm in the right, because I need God just as much as y'all do. But I will be condemned if I do not follow what God is leading me to do and speak out when the need arises. Thank you so much for listening if you have all the way through. I appreciate you. I love you. I support you in finding God again, or finding deeper relationship with Him. God bless you. Take care in these days. The times are perilous, and the days are getting darker.